Hey everybody, it's Robert coming to you with another adventure into history, and today we're going to show you this amazing old plantation house behind us. It's the House of the Rising Sun. It's going to be an absolutely amazing explore.
We are at the sad remains of the old Roderick Leonard plantation house in Talbot County, Georgia. This was the seat of one of the largest plantations in this part of Georgia back in its day. This was the home of Roderick Leonard. Now, Roderick Leonard moved here to Talbot County and he purchased land all in this area up here in the northern part of the county. He amassed a plantation here of just hundreds of acres. And this was his home. He built this, I think he settled here, I believe, in 1832. And he built this house sometime between 1833 and 34. Mr. Leonard lived in this house, of course, and he was married, I believe, 3 times. His first wife passed away, and he remarried, and he had quite a few children. I believe I have read in the past that he had maybe 8 children, 7 or 8 children, but they were the oldest one was not raised here but came here with his father and was old enough to start his own plantation nearby. And this house in later years became known as the House of the Rising Sun, because at some point in its existence the front porch had a little pediment that came out, and in the end of that gable someone built a rising sun motif, and it was painted red. The rest of the house was all trimmed in white, or painted white, trimmed in green, but that rising sun was painted red, so it got to be a landmark. And it was such a landmark that this road right out here was renamed Rising Sun Road, all because of that. Now, I've just learned recently that that rising sun motif was put on there sometime in the 1920s or 30s. I had always heard it was much older than that, but I really don't know. I'm hoping that we can find some remains of it and maybe we can tell how old it was.
So up until really recently, the rising sun was very visible on the front of this house. I remember driving by it as a kid, and honestly not that long ago, and this house was still standing. You could still see the rising sun on it. I drove by it recently and saw that the house is almost gone. We were really documenting the end of this old house here, and it was very sad for me to see that the rising sun was gone and the house is going along with it. This is also a bucket list explore for me. I'm grateful that we got the opportunity and permission to come and do this today and document this house before it's completely gone. So this is getting eaten by Wisteria. This is very reminiscent of the old bird farm, actually.
Okay, this looks like the porch is right over here. Front of the porch. Here is the
oh, there it is.
We may have to come back when it's in the wintertime. There's the rising sun. Let's see if we can clear away some of this.
Tin snips.
I'm glad you brought those. They're working perfectly for this purpose.
Nope.
I have to do some more trimming.
There it is. So actually being up here and being able to touch this, you guys don't understand just how much this means to me, because like I said, for years drove by this as an abandoned house and it always caught my eye. I thought it was so cool. So being this close to it and being able to see this, I hate that it's like this, but it's still, it's really cool.
Well, you know, when I first heard that this was only maybe about 60 or 70 years old, I called my mother and I asked her what her memory of this was. And my mother is still living. She's 90 years old. And she said that this was here when she was a little girl. And now that was in the late 1930s. It was here then. And of course, everyone that I've ever known around here referred to the House of the Rising Sun. So I'm looking at the craftsmanship on this. This was
square nails, ain't it?
Yeah, it does look to be a square nail there. And this is not it's not something that just anyone with a little carpentry skill could have done with these angles like this, because they start out narrow and come up to this width.
I'm gonna go get my flashlight.
Okay. This is not beyond saving.
No.
It's a shame that someone couldn't save this and repurpose it somehow. That was a wide board there, and then these little narrow pieces.
That's a round nail. That's obviously a square nail hole. I think that's a round nail. Well, these are round nails. That's a square nail hole. That's a round nail. Where did I see? Okay, those are all round nails.
Yeah. But are those nails that were put in there to repair it?
Right, exactly. There it is, man.
That's it. That is a Talbot County, Georgia landmark. That was always so in contrast. I mean, with the house, you had the big, now what's left here, of course, the house did not have a central hallway. It had 2 rooms downstairs. It had a little, I believe a little hallway upstairs that divided 2 rooms on that side and 2 rooms over here. So only half of the house is standing right now. This half over here, of course, the 2 front doors are still there, or the 2 front entrances, but the rest of the house is completely collapsed. I believe the chimney is collapsed as well, isn't it?
I believe so. So what do you think? Do you think that this is older than William Davidson thought it was?
When he wrote his book, he made the statement that this was only 40 years old then. And of course the book, this particular book that this was featured in, I think he was probably making that statement probably around 1978. So that would have meant 1938.
Yeah.
Talking about in that time period. But I believe it's older than that.
It's amazing for sure, and what a sad sight, you know. It's, like I said, this house has been abandoned for all of my lifetime that I remember seeing it, at least. But to see it in its, you know, final moments is truly sad. Let's see if we can get a closer look at the house. Wow. Well, some of it's still there. They said this is 1832, right?
30, I believe it said 33 to 34.
Okay.
But he bought the property in 32.
Gotcha. Look at that. That's a big old square nail. Both big old square nails right there.
You see the length of that piece of wood.
Yeah.
At least 16 feet.
All right.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Dan. Wow. Oh my goodness. There ain't much left of her, is there, Dan?
Not much. So one room was the master bedroom and the other was the parlor. I like that door.
I love that door.
Look at the what's left of the chair rail in the wainscot. Look at that wide board. Now the house would have been plaster originally, and you can see that later years, look like maybe in the 1880s or 90s, this single bead ceiling was put where the plastering had been. But that's the original ceiling.
And I'm going to let you hold this for me for a minute, and I'm going to... Look, I've been in a lot of sketchy houses. Well, this one actually scares me.
If it falls, just cover your head. Yeah, this is pretty dangerous. You can see all the way up to the fireplace on the second floor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get right here and you go ahead.
Okay. I don't want to touch anything.
To sit here and imagine what great painting must have one time hung over that fireplace, and the family portraits that hung on the walls here. You don't see many doorways like that. I mean, doors. The cross, usually it's the cross in the open Bible. But see the panel in the middle of the door?
I do.
There's a name for that, but I can't think now what it is. Look at the wide boards in the ceiling of the second floor. Can you see those?
I see them.
And you can see the lath work from where the plaster was in the upstairs hallway.
Yeah, I see that.
And all of the back of the house is gone. See, there used to be a dining room and a kitchen and other rooms back there. And those are gone as well. Someone has removed the wainscoting from here.
When was the last time this house was lived in? Do you know?
I can remember passing by here in the 1990s, maybe early 90s, and it seemed to be inhabited then.
So sad. So sad. We're here for the final days of the Rising Sun house. I mean, it's gone, but I'm gonna let you run this for me.
Okay, I want to see this piece of exterior crown molding. Look at that.
Yeah.
This was around the eave of the house on the second floor. all the way around the house. It's all original. Such a shame. There should be a closet under those stairs. Is there still a door on that closet?
Yes, sir. Doors open. And the other rooms of the house in there. The other chimney has collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we knew that. I just see the brick pile.
You can see all of those handmade brick piled up in there.
Yep.
Large, oversized brick.
Detail on the door.
This door was grained.
Oh, yeah.
As was this. This was wood grained as well.
All the windows were replaced at some time.
Yeah, they were replaced with later windows.
I just feel like I can stand up better without the camera.
You can probably reach in there better than I can.
You okay?
Yeah, I just got my foot tangled up in that, is all. Here you go.
That's the old Rising Sun house. There's an old wall that was later added. But still, it was very early because as you see the big square nails through it. Wow. It looks like it had a shingled roof. If it had a tin roof, it'd probably still be, well, in better shape at least.
You see the details of the transom windows.
Yeah. You get a good shot of those.
And
See
see
the wavy glass in them.
And see, this right here shows the width of the front porch, where you have this weatherboarding like this.
Yeah.
This was outside and out from under the porch, and this was under the porch. So the porch has always been a little narrow
Yeah.
porch, similar to this. And it doesn't appear that it was ever anything above there. So that's what leads me to believe is that pedimented porch that we all have known is original.
Yeah. So the chimney was completely plastered.
There's the classic silhouette of your two up, two down plantation plain, as it was called. But this one had an addition on the back that was two-story as well.
Really?
And that is all gone.
I didn't know it was two-story.
Yes. Out above, there was a room over the dining room.
Gotcha.
And it actually stepped down. When I've read that you stepped down from this bedroom, I believe, into that room over the dining room.
Now, you never got to go in this house, I guess, when it was...
No, I didn't. But I remember Gene Culpepper talking about it, and he and I were good friends. And he had been all around it.
it is, man. And here's the big chimney in the back. For the, you said this was the kitchen, right?
Yes. And there's a well somewhere around here.
Do you know where the well was?
No, I
Okay. We'll definitely need to keep our eyes out. Walking on top of the house. You can see here's a good look at early construction here. What is the terminology for this, Dan? It's
mortise and tenon.
Mortise and tenon, yeah.
Can you see up the stairs?
I'm trying to look over that just for that to see if there were any stairs left. Stairs are in here.
No. Should be right in that next section.
Yes, you're right. Oh, now if that ain't dangerously enticing.
Oh, they're still good. Climb on up there, Rob. I'll hold the camera.
Oh, man.
So the stairs were accessed from what had been the dining room then.
Why does it say wild grape on the wall?
Wild grape?
Yeah.
You're not really going to try that?
No.
Okay.
Close your eyes, don't look.
No, really, maybe I need to get out of the way.
I just want to
Because all this house is leaning this direction.
I just want to put my foot on one of them. There's nothing at the top of these stairs that I'd be worth seeing. Right?
I wouldn't think so. Not at this point.
I disagree.
I don't know about that, Robert.
Dan Akin.
Sorry, just having to shift my weight. Really, this is dangerous.
You're right, it is. It is. Here. It's not moving, is it?
I don't know. I'm fixing to move.
Okay, well, chickened out from the stairs. Dan is glad I chickened out from the stairs.
Take the camera with
No. Well, I just wanted to just see what it felt like the first couple steps.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I'm being honest, Dan, it didn't feel good.
I kind of ruined that by jumping around.
Yeah, well,
But,
it certainly didn't hurt or help. Oh, yeah, well, even worse once you look at how it's collapsed.
yeah.
It's pushing into itself, though, so
It's just leaning and
Yeah.
barely propped up.
it is just leaning right there.
There's nothing holding that up. This is very
Ah.
much like the way the Perryman house wound up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can see the adze marks. So we're out behind the house now. Can't really see it, but
Look at these ancient pear trees. There's several of them. There's another one there.
they had a little orchard behind the house.
And pecan trees. As far as you can see back in here.
Pecan trees as far as you can see. So this was this was a full plantation, right? When it was, I was wondering if there was any outbuildings.
There's no telling. There would have been many cabins here.
Sir?
Many cabins and tenant houses behind this place.
Yeah.
There's
Remains of something.
one of the old doors out of the house.
Sure enough.
This might have been a outhouse, a privy at one time.
All right, so we have left the House of the Rising Sun and we're down at Collinsworth Church now to visit the graves of the people who first built the Rising Sun house. And what can you tell me about this, Stan?
This, I believe, is maybe the second or third building that was on the site over here. The first being a log house, and then they built another building. Then this one was built, I believe, in 1858 or 59. But it's been in continuous use ever since.
Wow. And
this was where all of the early big plantation owners out in this area, this is where they attended church. You have members of the Leonard family, and I think that just about everybody else, Matthews and all, Lumsdens and all, they're all buried here in this cemetery. And most of them are descended from the Leonard family. But Mr. Leonard, who built the house that we just left, he had lots of brothers and sisters, and then he had children, and then all of his brothers had children that lived in this area. So the Leonards were a very, very prominent family in Talbot County. For many years, the names that were synonymous with Talbot County were Leonard, Mahone, and Marshall. Those were the three big names here. And if you look back into the slave census, you will see who the largest slave-holding families were, and the Leonards were among the top.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, let's go out here and visit Mr. Leonard.
And did I hear you say off camera a minute ago that this is kind of what the Mount Zion Church used to look like?
This is almost identical to Mount Zion Methodist Church at Waverly Hall, but I was told that it was built a little bit longer than this one. The width is about the same. Of course, you had front doors on the building and back doors identical, and there's a divider down the middle of the church through the pews. Women and men entered and left the church through separate doorways, and one side was for men, one for women, and they were seated separately as well. Children were seated with their mothers up until a certain age. When male children got to be about 12 or 14 years old, they started being seated with their fathers.
Gotcha. Leonard plot.
As you can see, there are descendants who have taken good care of this plot over the years.
Absolutely.
Through the years. And come on in.
How old would you say this fence is here?
He died in 1842, so I'm guessing that it was probably not too long after his death that this was put in place.
Beautiful fence.
Yes, it is. Very nice. This is his grave here.
This is him right here. Roderick Leonard, a native of Petersburg, Virginia. Born April 10th, 1786. Died January 15th, 1842. This is an interesting older grave here. This is sacred to the memory of Mrs. Susan Ann, consort of Harrison M. Osgood, and daughter of Roderick and Letitia Leonard. She died August 12, 1836, aged 17 years, 9 months, and 24 days. Also to the memory of Marcus Mortimer, infant son of Harrison M. and Susan Ann Osgood. He died June 11th, 1836, aged 18 days. Cannot read the first. Spirits of ye are fled, where no grief can entrance find. Lulled to rest, the aching head, soothe the anguish of the wind. Every tear is wiped away, sighs no more shall heave the breast. Night is lost in endless day, sorrow in eternal rest.
It says Tingley, Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you think that stone was ordered from Providence, Rhode Island?
It has the weeping willow over the urn motif there that was a symbol of mourning. That's entirely possible. 1836. This was early days for this area.
For sure. This isn't meant to be laid flat, is it? That's a would that be an upright headstone?
It looks like it should be.
It does.
It looks like it might have gotten broken down here.
Yeah. And someone's just
not squared off like the other end.
Laid it down to preserve it.
So we've got Mr. Roderick Leonard buried here, and his wife, Letitia Leonard, is buried here.
Yeah.
She died in 1856. Now see, it was upon her death, I believe, that the house was sold at the courthouse.
Gotcha.
All the plantation was sold at the courthouse in Talbot, and it was purchased by one of their sons. And then Alexander King Leonard, their son, had a big plantation near here. But see, he was born in 1809, so he was, let's see,
18.
He was in his 20s when they settled here, so he was able to get out on his own. And then this is his wife, and her name was Elizabeth. Her maiden name was Kroll. Now her father is buried at Fort Mitchell.
Oh, really?
In the Kroll Cemetery down there. Her father was actually the brother to the Creek Indian agent, and she was raised or was born. Let's see, it doesn't say where she was born, but they lived down on the Flint River, down near what's now Roberta, Georgia. And her father was the founder of Kroll Methodist Church down there.
Gotcha.
And they wound up, her father and all went to Fort Mitchell, and the rest of the Krolls went there. But she married someone over in Alabama, and then he died, and then she married Mr. Leonard.
Gotcha.
Something put on it to get these lichens off of it.
Eating the soapstone?
Yeah.
And this is just barely holding on right here.
Yeah.
It's on 3 legs.
I know we came here to see the Leonard family, but this is worth mentioning while we're here. This is a hand-carved monument made out of local native soapstone. Now, soapstone is native to Talbot County. It originates in the hills between Talbot. There's a little triangle between Talbot, Junction City, and Geneva. Back in the hills, there's a soapstone area back in there where all the early settlers used to go and get this off the side of a hill. And what the early settlers used it for was to build the hearth of the fireplace, because soapstone holds heat and is very easy to carve. You could cut a piece of it with nearly about with a handsaw. But it's easy to carve, it's easy to engrave. But the Native Americans used it to make bowls. And we find pieces of it every now and then where, you know, broken bowls where they got broke up over when they were here. But that's what this is. This is a soapstone grave that someone went to the trouble of creating. And this stone, unlike marble, it's not as soft, but it's not as porous. So it will last indefinitely. Look at the sides there. It still has its green color. But this stuff right here stays on here long. It will eat into the stone and really mess it up. So it needs to be some, what's that, your chemical stuff?
D2.
D2. Some of that put on here maybe would kill it.
And we'll have to bring some next time we come out here.
Yeah.
Low where this silent marble weeps. Low where this silent marble weeps, a consort, friend, a mother sleeps. And then I can't read the rest.
Did you see the name on this side? It says
Sacred to the memory of Anne V. Fuller, wife of H.L. Fuller, who was born in Wilkes County, Georgia, May 14th, 1827, and died in Talbot County, Georgia, January 5th, 1871.
Look at the detail of the TH of 11th. All these years and not a bit of weathering on that, or else that would have already worn away.
That's amazing. It's interesting too. Would you say this inscription was carved with a better hand than this was carved? Or do you think the same person carved the whole thing?
I don't know. That's excellent calligraphy.
It is. It looks to me that this is carved in there much prettier and with a much steadier hand than this is carved in there.
This almost seems primitive.
Exactly.
It does. And the base had
Sure did.
decoration on it as well, a border around it. You can see it there.
That's right. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. We got to see the Rising Sun house. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, personally, like a bucket list house for me. It's amazing to get that close. I just hate that it is in as bad a shape as it is today. Also very cool to see the cemetery here and see the grave of the person who built it. This graveyard has some absolutely amazing graves here. We'll definitely have to come back here and check it out some more, and maybe even one day get a tour of the church. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to Dan for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.